Okay, so let's look at this diagram here. And it's important to note here what it says about these diagrams, because these little circles with the plus and minus string shape, scale degrees. So you start on root. If root is, let's say, root can be root or any scale degree. Root, okay, the third is root plus 2. All right, root plus 2 is 3. All right, the sixth is the minus 2 string shape. Well, you start from root, you go down to, you're going to get to your sixth. Okay, the second's plus 1. It's simple. All right, but we want to play the string shape there. And then the fifth is minus 3 or plus 4, but we'll say minus 3. Here's root. There's the fifth. That's all that's saying. Okay, but we have to subtract 1 from it. All right, so it's a little complicated. If we start on, let's say we're going to do a cutout, so let's say we're going to start on 3 here. We got 3. So we do our cutout. It's 3, 4, 5. So our cutout goes to root plus 2. Alright, same thing. The sixth is on the next string up, root minus 2. So here's a problem there, because we didn't do the cutout. So we have to do the cutout. So it's root, but here's the cutout. So the third is plus 2, which goes to the fifth. The sixth, okay, is on the third string. Here's the first string, bass string shape. Second string, third string is the original string shape minus 2. So the third string is going to be, okay, which is the sixth of the Phrygian. The sixth of the Phrygian is the root, which is the root again, that it's the Phrygian of. That kind of thing. So this, and then the next string up would be the fourth string, would be root plus 1. Here's root, here's plus 1. So that would be our F. Root plus 1 would be our fourth string. Okay, so it'd be right up here, because we cut out a minor third to the cage below us. Okay, so that's why everything's adjusted by 1. Normally the third string would be minus 1. We take 1 degree down from minus 1, we get minus 2. It gets a little complicated, so I had to find an easier way, and I did find an easier way. And that was simply, and we'll end the lesson with this rule, with this idea. An easy way to remember this is that minors, okay, on the second string are going to take a minor third, and majors are going to take a major third. That's one way of looking at it. But what does half diminished do? Well, it's going to be a minor third, right? Here it is. 7 root's going to take a minor third to its minor parent. So that's about the gist of today's study. But one thing I want you to take away, we can just look at this little thing over here. These same cutout intervals apply at the G string and the B string cutout, but must be shape fitted. The interval from the bass string shape is plus 2 now. Plus 2. Okay, in other words, those minor and major thirds that we were talking about, let's say we're in the Mixolydian mode, C, A shape C. A, when you play an A down here, the real deal A, E becomes the fifth of that A. Okay, so what were we talking about? Oh yeah. So when we play that cutout off the bass string, it's going to go to +3. It's going to go this is the rule for today, major third goes to its minor third. So 5, 6, 7, but in this case it's half diminished, right? And what I'm saying is that still applies up here on string 4 to 5, but in the C box we don't go over because it's brought over for us. So that major third is right there for us. That's what that is saying. These intervals that we were talking about can be done from anywhere, of course. They can be done from anywhere. So it's a lot of fun. And the other thing, or the one thing I do want you to take away, that I don't know if I made a point of this or not, is that if you just learn these string shapes from any scale degree, you can start the scale anywhere. You just have to maintain this shape fitting here. Once you get to the long patterns, it's 3 in a row, right? So this is doubled. Root is doubled here. So it's 5 root 4, and then you go into the short S4E pattern. Here's a little outtake from chart like 140. So the S4E used to call it the S4 long, but now the longs are these guys. I called them extra longs, now I just call them longs. So here it is. We have to shape fit that 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 brick wall. Half whole aliases, whole half aliases. That's why when you get to that part of the pattern, E, C, G, D, these are fifths rather. Fifth of E is C, fifth of C is G, fifth of G is D. The fifth of the E string shape is C. It goes like this. And then this is the C shape, right? That was an attempt at making a C-shaped fifth, which didn't quite go because it was actually a B7 C-shaped. So that's it. And then we have our long patterns in a row. If you learn these patterns, you can build scales off of anything. So you can start with a mixolydian here. Now you're on a D, right? 2, 3, 4. So what is D cut to? It's a minor third to its parent fourth. So it's... Let's take it down a few. So this also gets into what's 4 the top string shape of? 4 is the top string shape of D again. 4, 3, 2. Okay? 2. Now, let's try a cutout from 2. It's going to go to the 4th string, so we don't have to worry about the warp. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we can play our G6 string shape right there. Just like that. So you just build a string shape and then you have to learn how to connect them. And that's it, folks. It's really a way of doing it. The rest of it is just fitting together and making something fit. Play and make it musical. Almost forgot what key it was in. Hey, it's been a good lesson. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is Andy's free guitar chart videos. I hope you'll learn your string shapes here and you'll be playing like a pro.